We're about to go kick down the doors and go inside of the C-suite of Khanyi Dhlomo, founder, CEO of Ndalo Media. We're going now. Your office looks amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We've actually recently done a little bit of a spring clean to bring everybody onto the same floor. We were on different floors in this building, just to drive stronger unity, stronger collaboration, stronger cohesion of the team. And we also decided to add a few bright colors just to bring out our corporate colors, and also to have the team values and the values of our organization and our brands more expressed in the color scheme, but also in the wall coverings that you see, so that wherever people are and wherever they walk around the office, they're reminded of what we do and why we do it. And we've also made the Ndalo Media payoff line, which we've always lived from the very beginning, but we've just made it more prominent. So you'll see it now in our logo, you'll see it in the office, positively impacting lives, because that sums up everything that we do.
Was this idea birthed at business school, or was it before? Was Ndalo before business school?
The idea of being an entrepreneur and starting my own business was before business school. So before this, I was editor of True Love magazine for about 8 years before going to business school. And the reason I left that was, firstly, I felt I'd achieved most of the things I'd set out to with the help of the team and the support of Media 24, the owners of True Love. I then spent some time in Paris, heading up South African tourism. I wanted to gain international work experience before getting international academic experience, and then went to Boston and did my MBA at Harvard Business School. And while I was there, the idea for Destiny in particular crystallized just from watching my colleagues in business school, who on the one hand were these smart, stylish women who loved fashion, loved decor, spoke about relationships and all the things that are important to women. But on the other hand, they would read The Economist, they would read Fortune magazine, they would read Forbes and other business magazines. It was interesting because when I did research at Harvard Business School, I realized that there actually at that time weren't any magazines, there weren't any websites that were bringing these two types of content together. So on a global level, it was a first. Naturally now more and more people have brought out that kind of content. This show is very much about that kind of content. Absolutely. And it's wonderful to see, because I think that when there are many of you in a particular ecosystem, you feed off each other, you reinforce, and ultimately the message for the consumer is so much stronger and I think so much more compelling. Going
through this sort of process and phase of becoming an entrepreneur, a woman in the market who is seen as an entrepreneur, how has that been for you?
It's not an easy process, but and I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think everyone should strive to be an entrepreneur, but I do think everyone should strive to have ownership over something. So either ownership over your brand, your personal brand, ownership over your division in an organization, ownership over the project you're project managing in an organization, ownership over the assignment you have as a freelancer contributing to an organization. So that sense of ownership, and therefore a sense of attachment to the outcome and the standards and the values that go into that thing you're working on, I think is extremely important.
Is there a process you go through in terms of sort of reinventing yourself into this entrepreneur?
I wouldn't say there's a process you go through, but there's certainly an aspect of sometimes consciously and sometimes not, learning from the lessons of your previous experience. I do often encourage people to at least try and work in the environment in which they want to start a business in first. So in my case, I worked in a larger media company before I started my own media business, because I think it's a safer, secure environment. It's a larger space where you can experience many different aspects of what you do and also see other people playing different roles in that space. So that helps. If you don't have that opportunity, just spend time with people, find a mentor in that space. Or if you're studying, study the space you want to launch a business in if you already have an idea. We've definitely had projects that haven't worked. We launched a teen sports magazine some time back and it didn't work. And we had to make the decision to cut that. And I think the lesson for me is there's nothing wrong with trying. trying. There's some great lessons we learned from that we will probably use in future. We've come out of it wiser and stronger, and we made the decision to fail quickly. So,
yes.
You know, we got out of it very, very quickly and moved on and focused on the things that we have, that we know, and that we're experts in.
If a young person wants to be mentored by anyone, someone like yourself, what are some of the key things they need to come into the mentorship with in terms of preparing themselves? What are some of the things you look for?
I think that just sense of preparation and eagerness and openness is very important, and a demonstration of having thought through some of the things that are important to them. You know, it's not a way of blaming anyone, but obviously people do sometimes come and just say, you know, just mentor me, you know, just lay it on, you know, and they don't really have an idea of what do they want, what value do they bring, where do they really want to go. So at times one entertains that, because you can see often when someone is they just have no idea. They know they want to be better, but they just have no idea how.
Sure.
But more often than not, I think people get a positive response when they've thought about what they want to do. Yes. They have a very good idea of where they want to go. They have a good list of things they've tried and things they've done. They have a good idea of what their strengths are, and some idea of the gaps and the weaknesses, but they're hoping that the mentorship process will help them see where those are further, and then grow from there. Awesome. They must have a sense of the value of your time, and therefore come having considered that.
The one thing I appreciate about how you translate your values, the consistency and really paying attention to detail, both from your own personal image. We walked around the office, we could see that the attention to detail from every angle has been important. Just how important is that to you? Or is it just me, you know, assuming things?
Well, as the saying goes, the devil is in the details. I think that if you do not take care of the details, the bigger picture falls apart. It may not happen immediately, but over time it does. And that's why the value of excellence, creativity, style and substance, those four values are very much part of Ndalo Media, and we have them plastered around the office. It's so important for us, it's so important for the people who contribute to our brands. It's so important because I think it's also a sign of respect for the reader.
Sure. Thank you so much for allowing us
inside your
C-suite.
It was lovely. It was lovely to meet you.